Are you serious? Are you serious? This is getting very serious. Put your coffee down. This is a prophecy alert. There is a end of days prophecy that some believe has just been declared by the president of Turkey, Erdogan, as he's trying to lead the sons of Ishmael to the final war for Jerusalem. Matter of fact, let me read to you some of the one verse from the Bible that this prophecy has come from. In Isaiah 21, verse 15, it says, "For they fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, and from the bent bow, and from the grievousness of war." They're taking this one verse and they're building what they believe that verse is confirmation of a prophecy. Let me just tell you what's going on. Of course, the end of days prophecy described by the president of Turkey. He just declared the caliph. He's just called on Monday, called all Muslims to converge on Jerusalem and ascend to the Temple Mount and to go as often as possible to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Now, you know, of course, he's saying these things just a few days before the 50th anniversary of the reunification of Jerusalem, or the Jerusalem Jubilee, from that 6-day war of 1967. And President Donald J. Trump is going to be in Jerusalem, coinciding with that tremendous milestone. I'll be there as well, covering it. It will be an incredible day, Jerusalem Day. I don't know what will happen, but we're going to be right there to capture biblical prophecy in process right before your very eyes. But let me just tell you what the prophecy that they're speaking of here. On Monday, at the opening ceremony of the International Forum on the Islamic Trust in Istanbul, President Erdogan called for hundreds of thousands of Muslims to ascend to the Temple Mount, thundering this quote, "Each day that Jerusalem is under occupation is an insult to us." Now, this is the president of Turkey speaking at a convention in Istanbul, Turkey. So what in the world are you doing calling a religious, fanatical ascension upon the city of Jerusalem? Then we know Rabbi Berger, rabbi of the tomb of King David in Mount Zion. So if you go there, and I've been there many times, if you go to the tomb of King David, the rabbi in charge of the tomb, he has commented. He said he believes that Erdogan's call to the Muslims was based on a Jewish prophecy that precedes Islam. Matter of fact, he said, quote, "Erdogan is fulfilling a prophecy as the leader of his country." Rabbi Berger told Breaking Israeli News, and he said, "just like Pharaoh in Egypt." Now, the rabbi has related a prophecy that was written in a collection of biblical scriptural interpretations believed to have been compiled in the 7th century. He explained that according to the prophecy, the sons of Ishmael, which the rabbi identifies as Islam, will wage a war against Edom, which the rabbi identifies as Christianity. And after this war, the sons of Ishmael will wage 3 wars against the Jews focused around Jerusalem. Matter of fact, Rabbi Ishmael, the high priest, said 3 wars of turmoil the sons of Ishmael are destined to wage in Israel in the end of days. The prophecy reads, citing a verse in Isaiah, "For they fled," I'll read it again, "for they fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, and from the bent bow, and from the grievousness of war." Isaiah 21, verse 15. Now the prophecy continued. It said, "And from there the Messiah, from the house of David, will grow, and he will witness their destruction, and then he will come to Israel." Now, so he's, of course, Rabbi Berger then explained how the prophecy written hundreds of years before Muhammad founded Islam relates to the current events. The war between Islam and Christianity has been going on for some time now in Europe and in America, Rabbi Berger said. He identified the two the two attacks on Israel that they suffered, the first one in 1987, intifadas in 1987, and again that went on from 1987 to 1993, and again the second one from 2000 to 2005. He calls them the first two wars to which the prophecy is referring to. So he says these two intifadas were the first and second wars waged against Jerusalem, against Israel, by the sons of Ishmael, and that now Erdogan, the president of Turkey, is calling for the third and final war that was prophesied in the 7th century. Now, Erdogan has just declared the third and final war for Jerusalem, as foretold in this prophecy, according to Rabbi Berger. He noted that while Erdogan might not seem the natural Arab leader to unite Muslims, he had touched on a universal message in targeting Jerusalem, which would, in a sense, activate the need to fulfill this prophecy. Now, folks, if you just stop for a moment, go to the book of Zechariah chapter 12 and Zechariah chapter 14. I just got two verses to read for you, but very important because it goes right along with what this prophecy. This was a prophecy given to a Jewish rabbi in the 7th century, and now we have the Jewish rabbi who's in charge of King David's tomb, who is saying that the first two intifadas have been declared and have been fought, and that the third has just been announced to happen. He is calling for it. Here's what the Bible says. The prophet Zechariah said in Zechariah 12, verse 1 and 2 and 3, he says, "The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretches forth the heavens and laid the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling, and unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it." So this is a proclamation. This is a prophecy that this is going to happen. And Zechariah 14 even tells you that Jerusalem does get attacked. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. But we are living certainly in the last days.